Hey everybody, Some Gadget Guy here, and I don't cover a lot of gaming gear on this channel, especially consoles, because PC Master Race for life, but I am a fan of powerful computers. After playing with Lenovo's terrific Y50 gaming laptop, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to check out their new ERAZER X315 gaming PC. This is Lenovo's newest entry in the ERAZER lineup, and represents their entry-level powerhouse PC. My review unit came with the AMD A10 APU, and while there are graphics cores built into this chipset, actual video work is done via a dedicated graphics card, in this case a Radeon R9 260. There's 12 GB of RAM on board spread out over 3 DIMMs, and a 2TB Seagate handles all of your storage needs with a DVD burner for your discs. This variant of the X315 retails for around $800 depending on where you shop it. On the back of the case there are a pair of USB 2 ports for peripherals and 2 USB 3 ports for faster transfer, a single Ethernet port, and there is Wi-Fi built directly into the board, making it a bit more flexible where you can stow this case. While the motherboard has its own VGA out, Lenovo has covered it with a stopper to encourage you to use one of the connections on that dedicated graphics card. There's surround sound audio support, and under a front-facing panel you'll find 2 more USB 3 ports, a memory card reader, and the headphone and mic jacks. In the box, Lenovo also includes a wired keyboard and mouse. We've seen this keyboard before on other Lenovo systems, and while I prefer it to their cramped wireless keyboard, if you're really into smashing keys while playing games, I'm not sure how well this keyboard will hold up over time. We also have a more gamer-inspired mouse, looking a little like the Batmobile, a design I greatly prefer over some of Lenovo's more angular mouse experiments. The case is a nice blend of classic Lenovo hard-edged angular design and gamer influences. It avoids some of the tackier styling we've seen on other Mountain Dew-fueled boxes, but still has a little of that armor-clad feel to it. I'm not a huge fan of pimping out my PCs with LEDs, and thankfully the X315 only has one Iron Man-style blue light coming out of the power button. It's an attractive and compact affair, and it's utterly dwarfed by my NZXT Phantom, which makes this a solid space-saving system for bedrooms and dorm rooms. I really haven't played with an AMD build since the glory days of the dual-core Athlon, and was happy to see how snappy and quick this system was. Of course, a machine like this has little issues handling the basics like web browsing, document support, and playing with Windows apps. We want to throw more challenging stuff at it. In terms of gaming, the X315 had few issues, chewing up the games I actually play in full HD, with most graphics settings set to high or very high. Games like Arkham City only briefly dipped to sub 30 frame per second rates in the most challenging environments, and older titles like RE6 gave the system an A for performance. Jumping into more modern titles, I have few reservations that this box will handle fluid frame rates, dialing those settings back just a little bit. I was also very pleased with video rendering performance. I've standardized a test to render a brutal 2-minute clip of UHD video at a very high 50 megabit per second bitrate. It's a sample video which takes my old workstation over an hour to render, and the ERAZER was able to chew it up in 36 minutes. While gaming is certainly the focus, there's enough horsepower on tap to handle a variety of CPU and GPU intensive tasks. Surprisingly, the system runs pretty quietly. Even at full load, the passive side venting and rear fan do a solid job of preventing the X315 from kicking on like a weed whacker. If there are any small concerns with the system, it might be in upgradability. You can easily pop the case open and get into its guts, but some upgrades might be a little bit tricky. First, while getting to the video card is easy enough, moving to a more powerful graphics card will likely put a bit too much strain on the included 450-watt power supply. So you'll probably want to factor in the cost of both a power supply and graphics card when considering a graphics upgrade. Second, while 12 GB is a decent amount of RAM to start with, you can only add another 4 GB of RAM to the last slot before replacing DIMMs. The system can support a max of 32 GB if you replace every slot with 8 GB sticks. Thankfully, RAM is pretty cheap nowadays. Lastly, my final nitpicky might just be with the name of this series of computers in general. ERAZER as a name for a gaming PC sort of sounds like the neglected stepchild of a bad Arnold Schwarzenegger flick mated with the bumbling crooks from Snatch who make the bodies but don't erase the bodies. Apologies to all my viewers in the UK. So where does that leave us with the X315? For twice the price of a PlayStation 4, you get a machine capable of slightly besting the graphics prowess of modern consoles on current games, with insane backwards compatibility for all of your favorite classic PC titles, PC Master Race for life, and which also happens to be a fairly solid all-rounder for other PC tasks like video editing and rendering. For the gearhead who regularly likes to dig into the guts of their workstation, I'd still recommend building your own PC from scratch. But for the consumer looking for a multi-year investment at a great price, the kind of person who might only pop in some more RAM or install an SSD, or the person who might never crack their PC case open, it's hard to find fault with Lenovo's offering here. It's a good performer at a good price, and that definitely makes it worth your consideration. Of course, I want to hear from you. What draws you to a gaming PC or a workstation? Do you upgrade pre-built machines, or do you like to roll your own? Definitely drop me some comments down below, as I love getting into those kinds of discussions. As always, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to see more videos like these, and I would not be able to continue producing these reviews if you all weren't out there sharing them with your family, friends, and on social media. Hit that thumbs up button, and I will catch you all on the next review.